Well, the clock has struck midday on Sunday, the last day of July 2022. This is Newsbeats live at Metro Television. You can catch us live on DSTV channel 277, Go TV channel 170, and on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana. My name is Isiedwa Akumia. Now to the headlines. Minister of Communications and Digitalization Ursula Owusu addresses the nation on the SIM card re-registration deadline as some frustrated Ghanaians demand an extension of the deadline. Now, also in this package, we take you to the Ahafo. We take you to the Ahafo region, where about 50 young persons have died at several lumber felling sites in the last 2 years in Akrodie in the Asonafo North municipality of the region due to lack of secondary schools in the area. Now, on the international front, Ukraine's southern city Mykolaiv hit by stronger strikes, killing scores in the process. Now, calls have intensified for government to extend the deadline for the SIM registration exercise. This follows a mad rush of Ghanaians to meet today's deadline. The Minister of Communications and Digitalization will soon be providing some updates, but some Ghanaians have been left disappointed throughout last week as they were unable to register after some telco centers did not open. Others that did not extend their 5 p.m. closing time.
Ayi card ya de ma ye wo mo atwuro din wo mo atwuro ni ye hedi pa samha edi pa wo ha bebre me kura po mo ma me twura akafa so be ba so wo mo bon anti me atwuro din papa bi agu so hwefo so ya hwe se do ma hwe FSUAA ana masan abaha for what people say abrewa be free dwom hwe me ho am de abegina ha anya fine. It's what we can see 6 days. I can't do the idea banning angry. You know, Mungri, ya sabe ya card way, ya papa. Ya about to watching it. And Messiah for fro. It's one for nanny baby more. And come. We need more days. Okay? It's they say, yeah, no. It's one for baby and can next time no.
You see, my problem is with the Ghana card. Okay, I registered mine in 2019. Already they told me that the office has not been opened yet at a particular place. That's in Ekropon. So as at 2021, still the office was not open. And up to now, I don't have the Ghana card. I went to do the Ghana card in Koforidua. They asked me to go and come back in August somewhere, I think 15th or so, before I can come and do my Ghana card. So that's the challenge. So still my SIM is not registered because of our schedules and all that. Well, we sometimes have to risk our schedules to go and do it, but then you go and they disappoint you.
My SIM has not been registered because I've not been around for some time now, and I didn't receive my Ghana card on time. I received it just recently, and due to some 1 or 2 reasons, I couldn't get the time to come and register for the SIM. I got the time to come today, just about an hour ago, and they are telling me they've closed. Now, NCA is giving us to tomorrow, which is 31st of July. Yet, Vodafone is saying they've closed at 5 p.m. when we have less than 24 hours to complete this registration. We are pleading on behalf of Ghanaians, or we are all pleading for NCA to give an extension, at least a couple of months more, for people to be able to get their Ghana cards and come and register. Because people have more transactions done electronically than even with the physical cash now. So they are going to lose a lot, and Vodafone and other networks are also going to lose a lot. Talking about cutting people off their SIMs.
The deadline should be extended because today being weekends, some of the service providers are working till 5. Some too are not opening at all. So I think they should extend it.
Now, in a few minutes, the Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Oslo Owusu, will be addressing the press as to whether there is going to be an extension for the deadline of the SIM card re-registration. Now, these are live visuals happening at the Ministry of Information, and so we are going to bring you that shortly. Now, away from that, about 50 young persons have died at lumber felling sites in the last 2 years in Akrodie in the Asonafo North municipality of the Ahafo region. Residents of the township attribute this to the lack of secondary school facility and other employment avenues. Their only hope to salvage the crisis now resides in the completion of a science, technology, engineering and mathematics school, which is currently under construction. The following report has more.
For many young people whose parents cannot afford secondary education outside the Akrodie township, the Okada and lumber felling businesses are their last resort. These ventures also come with its own risk, as about 50 young persons have perished through these activities. Many of these young lumberjacks either die during ferrying or transportation of heavy wood logs, whilst the death of others occurs out of their Okada business. Residents believe this death would have been prevented, but for the lack of secondary education in the area, most parents who are predominantly peasant farmers find it difficult to afford secondary education for their wards outside the area and its attendant costs. They believe a secondary school facility within the township will help ameliorate the challenge. As of now, their last hope rests in an ongoing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics educational project sanctioned by government. Residents say they look earnestly for the completion of the project. Here are some of them speaking to Metro News.
Due to some issue, SSB Ukruma, and youth no junior high na senka SS Ukruma, Kibetima Bois, I'm a youth navy. Ako school navy. By SS na in Hennington. Ama uwie junior high school crowd, you are won't me to us. A Juma was away, either say, Obepe Mutu, now they are Okada. And I say, Obeko so me ho. Now it's me de enya adwuma account said be am sabeko ano. Na even ni nyina so yesanya effect wo so. Ni adwuma na e baaye no. Omukọ bush ne omo so beams ne ade na asa kunkum youth ni bebre motor accidents so far from 2020 to 2022 there motor ne ni adwuma ne there ekum boys there e be bro 50
boys it me kokosoa edbo asedua bu obi wo Okada nso so omo muchi moto enne kura disi e kasa kura boys tere omo prepare mu clinic mo sisi eno ne ohawa be fan say e wo ho no we kuri
nkura twa ho hye nyina e wo secondary schools ba nam se kuro bi ni hanti no nkura ne wie school a omo su kokom ya na e ha adwen pa ko so be ka ya wa du station we hu Okada se ne prage sisi ho a anasa abobo ya akura bakati sisu a nkura no dwuma omudi dia no omu wie ya na ma ho kire nti omutimi ntu omu so no mo de atiesi forest mu no mo tu bakati esi wo nti bi etimi di be se bosome ba ko a mema no be nan asenum eni timi hwero mu kofa saade no wo so a ni nyina ya school fo nkura na obo okura na se utum se na wo funu ni sikanti no omu ko nya boarding kura extra day kura anko bitimi akọ so no mo sa wo funu ni sikanti no wo de omuntimi ntu ano so ba bi fufuro bia
eme de pass bibi say ya de ekoso because say enkura nkura be wie school no kura mbekọ ebia ada town say mo kope school honom ebi ono a wo funu ni sika ba kura no wo krum ha ya na say onya SSC kura na otifie kura na obetimi ayade etimi anko school nti in fact SS na ba krum hanom de kase ye na nya na eboa.
Andrews Frimpon is the communication director for the Ahafo Regional Coordinating Council. During a tour at the project site, he told Metro News that the project will be completed soon. He attributed the slight delay of the project to a change in specification and scope.
Such a big assembly hall. This is the administration hall. and we have a classroom block including science laboratory that has a capacity of about 2,000 students. And so much as we are encouraging the contractors to speed up, we also have to pat the government in the back for such a visionary project and such a great project coming to AFO to help us. And though it's a national project, but I'm also focused on the advantage that the youth in AFO will stand to gain.
Now, before we continue to the next story, this is news just coming in from the National Identification Authority, and it says the National Identification Authority wishes to inform the general public that there would be no identity management services, that is replacement of lost cards, updating of personal records and correction of errors at the Elwak Sports Stadium on Monday, 1st August 2022. These services would resume on Tuesday, 2nd August 2022. Any inconvenience this may cause is deeply regretted. Now, away from that, the headmistress, teachers and students of Untitled JHS in the Kwadoso municipality of the Ashanti region are appealing to the government, education NGOs and the general public to support them furnish their computer laboratory to enhance teaching and learning in the school. Metro TV's Sarah Akwa Befi has more.
The Untitled Methodist JHS in the Kwadoso municipality of the Ashanti region was for years without a computer laboratory. Teachers have therefore been teaching information and communication technology theory without practical lessons. They explained the lack of computers, furniture and computer accessories is gravely affecting academic work.
Though we are teaching the subjects, the people are picking it up. But we need a practical aspect as compared to the new syllabus that has come. Now we need more practical tools, just as the computer has become the order of the day, which support in the teaching and learning.
To bridge the gap, the Parents and Teachers Association of the school mobilized funds to construct an ICT lab in the school to enhance teaching and learning. The new facility, however, has no computers, prompting the headmistress of the school, Charlotte Eduinsia, to make public appeal for assistance to complement the efforts of the parents.
Opportunity to ask for support from the government of Ghana, NGOs and well-meaning Ghanaians to come to our aid at Untitled Methodist JHS. We have put in an ICT room in place, but the room is empty and we are in need of computers, a projector and furniture to put it into use for the teaching and learning of ICT.
The students reiterated the call by their head teacher with further appeal to government and other stakeholders in the education sector to assist the school with necessary logistics to improve the quality of teaching and learning of ICT.
Appealing to the general public to come to our aid, help us to provide the needed ICT tools and equipment.
I hereby to appeal for the NGOs, the government and the public to help us to provide some computers, projectors to make learning easier for us.
Now, residents of Lower Manya and Yellow Krobo municipalities are calling on the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, to restore power to their communities. All communities in both municipalities from Sominya and Tukpong have been off the national grid after an alleged exchange of gunshots between the military and some residents at Niaso. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the gunshots were targeted at workers of ECG who were in the community to disconnect power from the main transformer, which was serving a number of illegally connected homes in the area. There have been tensions with the ECG in recent times over the installation of prepaid meters. It is, however, not clear why the entire Krobo enclave is off the national grid, but some residents say they have been badly affected by the power outage. Residents in Lower Manya and Yellow Krobo municipalities pay between 3 to 5 cedis to individuals who own generators to charge their smartphones. This is not the first time this is happening. Earlier this year, the same scenario occurred until stakeholders discussed for a compromise. Power in the two municipalities have been out since Wednesday, July 27, 2022.
3 days today, we realized light out in the evening. They were thinking that it will come the next minute, but unfortunately it didn't come. And then it is 3 days now, and there is no light. And as I'm talking to you, my phone is off since last night, and I have not gotten any place to charge. I went to the salon to just braid my hair, to wash my hair, but they said there is no light, so they can't do it for me. And when I went, I realized a lot of people are there, and then they are just sitting there waiting for the power to come, but as of now it's not coming. So the hairdresser said since yesterday she has not worked because there is no light. And then my friend also went to we wanted to buy water and other stuff for our program last night, but unfortunately for us we couldn't get chill waters because power shortage or power line. Because of that we couldn't get water, so it is affecting us in many ways.
Need is peace. All that I need is development. All that I need is progress. And where there is misunderstanding, you don't have progress. You don't have development. And so I want to appeal to my people, and for that matter, Krobos, that let us seek peace in everything we do. Let us seek unity in everything we do. And dialogue should be the key word. I am this, I will do this, I'll do this, will not solve our problem. Yeah, but I understand if you are around our government area, they've been out of light for some time. I don't know whether it is a deliberate light out. But if it's that, I'm also appealing to ECG and the residents there that we need them much as they also need us.
Some businesses have been severely affected by the blackout in the Krobo enclave. My colleague Shadrach Odame-Ejare visited the town and came through with this.
If you have loved ones here in Krobo, Odumase, Somanya, Agomenya, I mean in the Yilo Krobo municipality and then the lower Manya Krobo municipality, and you've been trying to reach them but to no avail, just note that these communities or these municipalities have run out of electricity from the 24th of July to 30th of July. They still have no source of power. I have been roaming the towns, and then one notable thing is businesses are actually losing their customers. I've also visited some fitting or automobile shops where people there or workers there have had to stay idle because they do not have any source of power to work with. Others who are able to afford generator sets have had to deal with buying fuel as high as 100 cedis a day. I mean, in the course of filming, my camera went down. I just decided to get a benevolent person to charge the battery for me, only to find out that where I'm going to charge this very battery would have to cost me 5 Ghana cedis. So each time I charge a battery, I pay 5 Ghana cedis. So I've already charged 2, the third one on its way. So at the end of the day, I would have to calculate the number of batteries I have charged and then pay accordingly. Secondly, people here have to charge their phones at a fee. So if you have what we normally call YAM, or the smaller phones, you pay 3 Ghana cedis. If you have the smartphones, you pay 5 Ghana cedis to get your phones charged. So the electricity issue have had to affect all facets of their daily lives. Even with poultry farmers, people incubating eggs to get chicks have had to throw them away or be welcomed by the strong stench coming from dead chicks in their various poultry farms. Another surprising bit, or another thing that is so striking here in the Krobo land, is what the cold stores have had to deal with. This is a deep freezer. Let me surprise you by opening this. So you have gizzard, you have sausage, you have chicken wings. This is feet. This is tripe. These are frozen, not because it is going to be sold, but all these that you are seeing here are meat that has gone bad. The next surprise is in this very one. Sausage, chicken thigh, chicken wings, everything here has gone bad. To calm the stench down, they have had to take the extra pain of getting all these assorted meat products frozen so that eventually they can discard these ones off. So they are not actually selling this because these ones have gone bad. And even with the generator, it is unable to harden, so they are soft. This very one here is soft. And then all these ones are also soft, even though they are in the freezer. So you tell us about your plight, your worry. What is really going on?
There is this, they've got a prepaid and we said we don't like prepaid, so they've decided to give us light out. It's about 2 weeks now we are in darkness, no light.
And you are selling meat.
Yes, please.
Tell us about the meat you've had to throw away, the cost, the fuel you have to buy to keep your generator operating.
Okay. For us, we are using 3 freezers here, and the 2 freezers is full of meat, and the spoil, so we throw them away. And a day we buy a full of 250 Ghana cedis. Each day, 250 Ghana cedis.
Each day?
Yeah.
350 Ghana cedis.
Yes, please.
So this is the reality. Cold store operators here in Krobo Odumase have to deal with, from Somenya to Agwamenya, Krobo Odumase, and all the surrounding environs. Behind me is one of the numerous high tensions that were cut off the grid. According to residents, these were done by officials from the Electricity Company of Ghana and some armed military men.
That very night, we had a shot. So we came out around 2 o'clock midnight. So as we studied the car, it was GCG and the military men. So we checked the transformer. We have seen that the cables were being cut. So we can't do anything because there are military men and ECG. We don't know anything to do. So in the morning, we rush to the chiefs, then we report this thing to them.
From assessment from some electrical engineers in this town, even the fuse from this very high tension has been taken off. So when you even try to reconnect, you are not able to get power in your various homes. This is what residents in the Yilo Krobo municipality and the Lower Manya Krobo municipality are currently facing. It's either you are moving on to a generator set, or you are staying in the dark till ECG comes back, possibly one day, with power or electricity. For Metro News, Shadrach Odami Ejari, Krobo Odumase, Eastern Region.
Now, still to come, live coverage from the Ministry of Information. Now we go for a quick break. We'll be back shortly with some more stories. Welcome back. This is Newsbeat. Now, residents of Winneba and surrounding towns have been encouraged to take their health seriously and know their hepatitis B status through regular checkup and vaccination. The call was made at the launch of non-governmental organization Mumby's Foundation, established with the vision of spreading knowledge about the disease and supporting efforts towards its eradication.
Mumby's Foundation aims to support government in its quest to eradicate hepatitis B in the Ifutu constituency and beyond. Israel Adoble is founder of the NGO.
We also decided to celebrate the event and also use this opportunity to officially launch Mumby's Foundation Ghana. Our vision is to achieve a future that is free of hepatitis. In order to do that, all we do is to take the services of hepatitis closer to the people, which is the theme for this year's celebration. When it comes to the care of hepatitis B, the whole process is centralized. But this time around, they are trying to decentralize that mechanism so that hepatitis care can get closer to the people.
The NGO has been working with the Member of Parliament for the area, Alexander Fengu Marking, to ensure that their vision is realized. At the official launch of the foundation, Paramount Chief of Winneba urged residents to cooperate with the foundation to achieve their set targets.
Mama come from Mubian de Mestre. Mama ɔnyɛ hɛn isuro adze na mbom ma ɔbɛyɛ a yɛbɛnya apɔmuden na yɛdze abɔ bra nti ɔdɛ yɛkɔ na yɛkɔhwɛ yɛn mbɔgyem dɛ yɛaba no yɛwɔ bi ana na dza ɔwɔ dɛ yɛyɛ bi ano yɛayɛ na dza abɔ yɛn ho ban.
The MCE for the area, who spoke on behalf of the MP, reiterated the need to eradicate hepatitis B from the communities.
Evidently, these are expensive or costly to average Ghanaians, but I would like us to appreciate the effort of our generous Member of Parliament and Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin, for standing up in the fight against hepatitis B by opening his doors to the Mombis Foundation to the good people of Efutu. We would also humbly call on the public to join hands in the fight by providing the foundation with human and material resources to extend its activities beyond Efutu land.
Dr. Akwesi Bota, medical superintendent for the Winneba Hospital, entreated the residents to get tested.
The advice to the youth, all of us within the municipality, is that you should just go and get vaccinated, at least go and get screened. Once you know your status, based on your status, you can go ahead and get vaccinated.
A free health screening exercise sponsored by the MP was organized for over 200 residents.
Now, the Oblogo Health Center in the Greater Accra region is struggling to provide quality healthcare due to space. In charge of the facility, Mary Mensah says the facility struggles to provide emergency cases due to inadequate space.
On a normal day, the Oblogo Health Center within the Wejakbawe municipality in the Greater Accra region averagely takes care of over 30 patients. With the commission of its maternity facility, patient attendance at the facility has increased. The increase in population in the area has also put pressure on operations at the facility. The challenge of inadequate space for the smooth running of the health center has been a problem. Admission ward, record unit, NHIA station and nurses station all operate from one location, making management of the facility difficult. Mary Mensah is the officer in charge of the Oblogo Health Center.
We need admission wards so that we can detain or admit more patients. We don't have records units, so we need records units. We need offices for the staff, for disease control, nutritionists, health information, health promotion. They don't have offices, so we need offices for them too, so that we can work effectively. We were having shelves for the records units, but the shelves are full. So now that's why I said we need a records unit, because we don't know where to keep the folders now.
The facility has one ward serving both male and female patients and children. This healthcare providers say is affecting quality care.
We have one ward, that's we say general ward, for both male and female and kids. So if we get those buildings now, we can divide the wards. We can have female ward, we can have male ward, we can have kids ward. That's why I said we need infrastructure. Buildings so that we can see more patients, detain more patients, and then divide the wards into the various distance that I have mentioned, male, female, and kids units. And the place too is waterlogged. When it rains, we can't, coming into the facility is a problem. So we need a fence wall too for security. We need a fence wall, and then the pavement on the whole compound so that patients will not slip and fall.
Officials of the facility pleaded with government and organizations to come to their aid.
And moving on, counselors and relationship experts say divorce is on the rise due to inability of couples to cope with adversity. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly in 2021 registered a total of 345 customary marriages. 79 of them were eventually dissolved, indicating that 1 out of 4 marriages registered collapsed. Zoe Anita O'Day has this report.
All persons present.
All persons present.
To witness.
To witness.
In the name of the Lord.
In the name of the Lord.
That I.
Your name. Stuart James Guy.
Do take.
Do take.
The name. Laura Gifty Hill.
As my lawful.
As my love.
Wedded wife.
Lawfully wedded wife.
And I promise.
And I promise.
To be faithful to her.
To be faithful to her.
So help me God.
So help me God.
The joyful moment comes when the two appear before the altar to tie the knots, a transition from youthful life to a responsible adulthood, a moment to exchange rings and promise to stay with each other till death do them apart, despite the difficulties that may arise. However, many marriages are unable to stand the test of time, as some collapse prematurely. A YouTube video from John Cass on Divorce My Wife shows how divorces start.
Sorry, Lily, we are having a divorce this week. I don't love you anymore.
Why, Tony? Have I done something wrong? I have been faithful to you from the time we are married and until now. Is it so easy to say that? Divorce me?
Yes, Lily, I do not feel anything to you anymore but just like a friend.
Tony, do you know how much I love you?
In our quest to find out some of the challenges faced during divorce, Amma, a divorcee, shared her ordeal in divorce.
In my case, it's affected my education because I was doing my master's degree then, and I was just left with writing my thesis. So I had to abandon the thesis and, try to concentrate on my marriage and the fact that there was this child growing in me, and the first trimester was crazy. I was actually very suicidal. I tried to end it all on 3 occasions. It was the third one that woke me up from whatever I was going through, because it got to a time where the mind was telling me to even end my baby's lives.
She said, apart from the psychological trauma she went through, her children nearly suffered the brunt of the divorce process.
I shielded them. I never wanted them to see the bad things. I never wanted them to, see whatever I was going through. Then when anytime the mother-in-law was misbehaving towards me, she always made sure she did it in front of the kids. And sometimes we'll be telling them, your mother is a devil, your mother is a devil, for no reason. And I felt that, hey, are they going to be growing up in such a toxic environment?
According to statistics from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, 2021 registered 345 customary marriages. 79 of them were eventually dissolved, indicating that 1 out of 4 of the marriages registered collapsed. Out of 5,403 ordinance marriages registered, only 1,776 were conducted by the Assembly. Edem Adofoli, counselor, relationship and marriage expert, explained numerous factors that lead to divorce.
How do we communicate and how to work? Conflict in a marriage, how do we resolve them? Finances play a role in a marriage. How do we manage these finances?
To him, couples should seek professional counseling from experts rather than solely depending on pastoral counseling before marriage. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson are a newly wedded couple who are hoping to sustain their marriage.
In case there is any misunderstanding, we've agreed to get counseling and see how best we would be able to work things out. But we are not hoping to be part of the divorce statistics in Ghana.
Marriage counselors say marriages are contracted with unrealistic expectations, and this results in many of these collapsing. They reminded would-be couples to always have the option to say I don't before they say I do. Zoe Anita Ode, Metro News, Accra.
Before we go for another break, we'll be back with business. Now, to happenings in business, the Ejekum Kufuor Foundation has organized its maiden Youth in Agribusiness Festival in Kumasi with a call on young people in the country to cultivate interest in farming. The festival, which was organized under the patronage of John Ejekum Kufuor, former president of Ghana, seeks to celebrate the significant contributions of young agribusiness practitioners in Ghana.
The three-day Agribusiness Festival was aimed at training participants on emerging and strategic agribusiness enterprises. Convener of the Youth in Agribusiness Festival, Jeffrey Ajimendria, shed more light on the Agribusiness Festival.
Kufuor Foundation in 2018 initiated a project called the Kufuor Young Entrepreneurs Network. And this project had the objective of cultivating the next crop of entrepreneurs, building their capacity, pushing them, and also helping them to be able to access finance. And after 2018, we realized that much of these young people within the agribusiness space, within the entrepreneurship space, are involved in agribusiness. So we decided that this year we are going to particularize the Kufuor Young Entrepreneurs Network to the Youth in Agribusiness Festival, so that we can use the success stories of young people who are already in the agribusiness sector to serve as a motivational tool to onboard more young people into the agribusiness sector.
Chief Executive Officer of the John Ejekum Kufuor Foundation, Professor Bafo Ajimendria, urged young people in the country to develop keen interest in farming.
It's not expanding, they are not expanding the way they should. The extra young people are working so many exhibition anyway. They are coming from various parts of the country, from the north, Savannah, Upper West, they go around and talk to people. That example, other people.
The three-day program, which is under the theme Youth in Agribusiness in Ghana, the story so far and the way forward, brought together the youth from different parts of the country.
Now for the next story, Director of West Africa Center for Crop Improvement of the University of Ghana, Professor Eric Yirenchi Dankwa, is proposing targeted investments in local genetic innovation and the development of a robust seed system for the selected crops for sustainability. This, according to him, will transform the food systems of the country for better.
Graduates of the West Africa Center for Crop Improvement of the University of Ghana have produced over 250 improved and resilient varieties of staple crops such as cassava, sweet potato, maize, rice, bread, wheat, and others. In spite of this innovation by the center, Ghana is yet to tap into the potential. Ghana annually imports seeds and food, which cost the country $2.5 billion every year. At a press conference here in Accra, Professor Eric Yirenchi Dankwa urged government to pay attention to research in its resolve to turn Ghana's economic fortunes around.
Kansas State University, the first land-grant university, 2019, their budget for research, 2019 alone, was $219 million. That's their budget for research alone. Let no ignorant person in this country, no matter where they may be, dream that without a National Research and Innovation Fund, well-funded, we can develop. Let's fund institutions like WACI to change the narrative in agricultural development space.
According to him, attempts to engage government since 2017 has proven futile.
We engaged the minister after he saw our varieties in 2017. To date, the government of Ghana has not put $1 into our maize project. My expectation was that, seeing our varieties, he will run to us so that we innovate to help him. But he hasn't done that. That, for me, is the failure of the Planting for Food and Job strategy. Because if they had adopted us, they could have brought an entrepreneur to work with us to get our varieties to all Ghanaian farmers. We would have stopped importing maize by now.
He called on government to refrain from blaming our economic problems on Russia-Ukraine war.
And let no one talk about a Ghana beyond aid and do what we are doing. And I would say it is shameful that we are blaming the Russians for the soaring food prices and hunger when our import bill has been increasing ever since the end of the First Republic.
Investment of about $50 million in the center, according to its director, will lead to the sustainable development of innovations aimed at attaining self-sufficiency in food production and socio-economic development.
Away from that, Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, is urging African countries to work hard in bringing an end to the continuous importation of substandard electronic waste into the continent. This, he believes, will enhance Africa's development and competitiveness through excellence in electrotechnical standardization. He was speaking at the 8th AFSEC General Assembly hybrid meeting in Accra.
AFSEC was established in 2008 as a subsidiary body of the African Energy Commission to promote for everything related to electrotechnical standardization, aiming to support electrotechnical industrialization of Africa. The hybrid meetings, the first of its kind since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, brought together AFSEC members from member countries, including Ghana, Guinea, Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Senegal, and South Africa. The meetings are expected to promote innovative standardization, reorient and adopt processes for a more efficient implementation of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area and to make AFSEC more efficient and collaborative. Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Mohammed Enim Adam, urged relevant bodies to work harder in protecting populations from hazardous materials imported into the continent.
As we continue to grapple with inadequate energy access, Western countries are on the path of transitioning away from resources that could be transformative for our economies. Most of the technologies for the transition, unfortunately, are being experimental at this stage. We therefore, as African countries, risk being a dumping ground for low standard energy products that have not been tested. We must therefore work together to protect our countries from harmful toxic materials from these products through stringent standardization and disposal of electronic waste.
International Electrotechnical Commission National Committee Chairman Bukari Danladi expressed appreciation to AFSEC members for the confidence reposed in Ghana. The meeting is also aimed at making standardization results available to experts and users in user-friendly, fast and high-quality manner.
Well, that's it for business. Up next, sports. Now, the much-publicized J.A. Barney Greater Accra Table Tennis Championship kicked off today at the Accra Sports Stadium with 20 teams in the nation's capital competing for the next 16 weeks. Solomon Akono, who is the chairman of the Greater Accra Table Tennis Association, and some players shared their thoughts after the first week of action.
I think it was a very successful week. I would say the first week has been very successful because you can see the number of people that are around here. It's almost about 200 to 250 people that are packed in this hall, and I think it will continue. We hope to raise the standard of table tennis in Greater Accra, and I can say you can see it for yourselves. We have very talented young guys that through this league their performance are going to go up. For the past 4 or 5 months, we were looking for sponsors to sponsor this Greater Accra league, but it has not been.
It's good that I'm playing the Greater Accra league. I love the game too. Today, as my performance, it is good because I was ready to attack the forehand, backhand, and the person I was playing with was very tactical. So my coach gave me some tactics, and I used it for him. So.
Okay, today I played rubber. I didn't win, but I hope that the next time I'll do better.
Well, that's it for sports. Up next, entertainment. Now, when asked about how careful he is with the kind of roles he plays in movies, Ghanaian actor Ajete Anan answered by saying that every story must have a certain message and vision.
I think that every story must have a certain message. It must have a certain vision, and therefore I'm very particular about the stories I go in for, knowing that the aesthetics can be there, the catchy as we know it, but at the end of the day there has to be some substance. In our world today, we have so much opportunity to tell stories that would leave our audiences spellbound. They leave that space and the conversation continues. Whether it's considering an idea, reconsidering our motives, the direction we're going as a people, as a society. These are important, things that we need to look at. And so I'm particular about the stories I go in for, whether, it sometimes even challenges me. And it's not always about, doing something and throwing it out there for public consumption, but I kind of reflect, through these stories and the characters that I play, because I'm speaking back to my person, and so it's a win-win situation, and so I'm careful.
Now, we usually would be seeing this kind of rap feud between young rappers, but this time the mothers are at it. Ghana's Big Ivy and Nigeria's Mama Dollars have been touting their prowess as to who is the best rap mommy.
She awed Ghanaians and even outsiders with the rap prowess after the release of her first song, Big Mama. Known as Big Ivy, she got the attention of everyone with her delivery and her rap style, including notable blogs abroad.
So yeah, Corabania, whip, me try my big tip. Pour me someone, make a sip, I come system. Yeah, not your average mommy. I got big thoughts in my lobby, and I do this not for money. It's a hobby, and I love it. Not your average mommy. I got big thoughts in my lobby, and I do this not for money. It's a hobby, and I love it.
She got a reply from nowhere else but Ghana's arch rivals Nigeria from Mama Dollars. A few days ago, Mama Dollars made the reply song to Big Ivy, which set social media ablaze as the comparisons between the two have begun.
Mommy Dollar!
So I'm hearing some rappers making noise. The real queen of rap is here. Bow down and pay your respect. Mommy Dollars is the queen. Tell all these rappers to stop making noise. My flow they make headlines. Tell this baba to stop making noise. I'm the best in the game. Who won't battle me? Go boss it. One fat woman for Ghana. Which flow they in match? Go boss it.
Big Ivy has since responded to Mama Dollars with another fierce flow.
Big Ivy. I'm not surprised though. I knew someone go come test. I was expecting Emma Baga. Why you bring him over darling? Okay, I'm your forest hero. Turning you back to Naira. This battle you come call, I go make you vanish like you become fat.
The rivalry between them brings to bear once again the rivalry between the two countries, Ghana and Nigeria. This time not jollof or football, but music. Together, Mommy Rap Champion and all legendary Nigerian rapper Emma Baga has waded in. Let's see how it goes.
Interesting one there. Well, up next is international news. Well, we'll be bringing you a live update of the press conference that will be happening at the Ministry of Information. The press is seated and awaiting the presence of the Minister of Communications and Digitalization, Ursula Owusu, to come and address the press. So we are going to be bringing you coverage of that shortly. Well, that's all for today on Newsbeat. Before I go, the headlines. Minister of Communication and Digitalization addresses the nation on the SIM card re-registration deadline as some frustrated Ghanaians demand an extension of today's deadline. Now, we took you to the Ahafo region where about 50 young persons have died at several lumber felling sites in the last 2 years in Akodia in the Asonafo North municipality of the region due to lack of secondary schools in the area. And on the international front, Ukraine's southern city, Mykolaiv, hit by stronger strikes, killing scores in the process. Well, this has been Newsbeat. My name is Asiedwa Akunya. Do stay tuned for more right here on Metro Television.